Welcome back. Time for our commodity corner now. Manisha Gupta caught up with Mansi Madan Tripathy, who is the country chair of Shell India, to talk about how Shell is focusing on its efforts today on the renewable energy space and how they are looking at their India growth picture. Listen into their exclusive conversation.
While we continue globally, obviously in oil and gas, we are also expanding into the entire renewable space. And I think in India we feel really good because we do have a very big presence now with the Spring Energy, which is about, I think, 2.4 gigawatts in terms of already installed capacity. And we are going in for another 1 gigawatt this year itself. Yeah? Okay. So I think that makes it a pretty substantial investment in that space. And also, I guess, as we look into the future, a lot of work which is getting done in our technology space, be it in terms of, how AI will be helping in terms of the analytics, getting better yields from all the other spaces, as well as, actual work on the material sciences, safety management, et cetera, et cetera. Those are some very interesting spaces where I feel really great about Shell participating in this whole transition.
So when we talk about India vis-a-vis the rest of the world, how are you looking at the demand growth coming in? Because there are a lot of promises, a lot of positives that India does showcase.
I mean, if you cut and slice any sector right now or any data, India will be in the top 5, if not in top 3. Right? And that's the beauty, right? Be it economy, be it how the growth is going to come, be it the income, be it, and renewable, non-renewable. India is in that very nice space of the growth trajectory of any major economy in that sense. So I think the challenge is for all of us, both as consumers as well as the industry players, as to how do we capitalize on this growth in a manner that commercially makes sense, at the same time does the job of the energy transition at the same time, right? And I think I do feel very privileged that India offers that space where you can do both in a very nice manner. So I think as Indians, we should all feel very, very proud that, we have waited many decades for this one, and we are finally there.
So as Minister Puri very rightly said that we have to look at our near-term profitability and a longer-term renewable goal as well. You think India is able to balance that right now?
Absolutely. And I think if I compare and contrast India's energy transition to some of the other markets, what strikes me is the "and" story, right? Like if I look at Europe or, for a matter, Americas, most of their energy consumption needs to be substituted with renewables. So the energy demand broadly remains constant. Whereas for us, like today we consume about 40 exajoules. It is going to become 80 exajoules by 2050. And all that incremental is going to come from renewable, but the base is not going anywhere. So which means that you need to continue with all your base, and then, you need so much growth. So it's like, and the "and" story, which very few countries can truly offer. And I think with the energy demand which India has, we'll need obviously all the diversification as well as the base. Yeah.
Mansi, one more point that almost everybody seems to be making is that while, of course, you are thinking global, but you are also working very regional. Does that work the same way for Shell also?
Absolutely, because there's no other way, right? It is at a local level which we need to find solutions. And I can give you, just an example which happened last week in lubricants. We were trying to see how do we source our reused oil. So lubricants has the waste oil basically, which if not coming back into the value chain gets burnt, which then leads to a lot kind of emissions. Now, globally, we said, okay, we want to do something about it, right? That's a global mandate. But when it comes to a local thing, we have to identify which workshops do we go to, which OEMs are interested, which supply chain can actually take care of waste oil, where does it find its way from a certification perspective, which policies need to be influenced, and all that work needs to happen at a local level, right? So I think the policy versus the execution part needs to always blend in for it to finally come to life.
So what are Shell plans going forward from here? I mean, as you said, you've evolved from one to another, and at a level that where you are right now. What is the sense from here on?
Growth, and
Shell's strategic plans as well.
Absolutely, because I think India remains a very important strategic market. We have the biggest footprint of Shell in terms of our talent in India. That's about 13,000 plus people. So we do see a lot of value which our capability centers will keep adding globally and to India from an employment point of view, as well as, leveraging on the vast human capital which is there. And likewise, I think on the energy ecosystems, we are already present in 5 verticals in terms of the energy ecosystem, and that's only going to get scaled, and we are also looking at other opportunities to grow. So a very important growth story, and we remain vested in India.